So we have done our outline and we have done our fill in, and now it's time to conceal. So for concealing, I know you have to use one shade lighter than your actual skin color, so that, because what we are not only concealing, we are highlighting our brows. Okay, so you have to use like one shade lighter. Then for some people who said you should use like your exact shade and one shade lighter, which is also good. So what I like to do is that I like to use like the one shade lighter, a brighter foundation or concealer from the middle part of my brows to the end. Then from this part to this part, I use my actual foundation shade. Do you get the gist? Please, if you are confused, ask me, or I would explain better. So I'm using my Huda Beauty foundation in chocolate mousse, and I'm going to add a bit of toffee, like a very light shade, very light shade, just to brighten that shade more. You get, this one is like, let's say it's just one shade lighter than my skin tone. That's the chocolate mousse. But if I should add this, it will take it to like 2 shades, because I really like a bright brow bone. Like, I like my concealing under my brow bones to be really sharp. Let's go. So I will just mix a bit of this and this and conceal. So this will act as the one I will use from here to here, and the lighter shade will be what I'll use from here to here. Okay, so just mix both together. Okay, so my angle brush for concealing both sides. Get a good angle brush. I've been using this brush for ages, so let me go ahead to conceal now. You can be slow, take your time so you don't make any mistake. You can even raise your brows up like this, since you are doing it for yourself. It helps direct the brush rightly. And notice again, since I'm using an angle brush, since I'm using an angle brush and I'm concealing the right part of my brows, I angled the shape. I angled the brush, the angled brush to the right. So tell me, what brush do you prefer to use when concealing your brows? Do you use an angled brush or you use a flat brush? So I'm just going to stop here, okay? Then I'll go back to this one that looks almost like my skin tone, my shade, and I'll complete the tail part. So what I'm trying to achieve right now is for you to get like the perfect brows without you concealing the top part of it. Because for me, right, so I'm going back to this one that looks exactly like my shade, the chocolate mousse, to conceal like from here to the beginning part. So what I like to do is that, or what I've noticed about myself is that, and what I teach is that, try to achieve the perfect brows from just concealing the bottom. So you don't need to conceal from the top part. Oh my god, I'm talking and I'm concealing. Oh, I'm cleaning my brows because I'm talking, I'm explaining, and I'm concealing. Anyways, just be careful so you don't clean your brows like I'm doing, but I will always go back to correct it, so no worries, mama. Then the trick of the baddest trick is take whatever shade you use to highlight under your brows like this with your blending brush, then use it to blend out that concealer. Because you know, when you conceal, most times it's hard for you to blend because it's already dry, the concealer or the foundation, and when you start blending, you find out that it leaves like a very patchy effect. But when you do this step, it changes everything. It's just like you're applying foundation on that area. Can you see how smooth it is looking? Okay, now to correct any brow mistake you might have made, you have to blend out that part, like blend it till it fades into your skin. Then you go back with your pencil, your gel, or whatever you use to draw your brows to correct. Okay, so remember to sharpen your pencil to be really, really sharp, like this, and just go ahead to correct it, because I think I cleaned a little bit I went into the outline a bit. Remember, you must maintain your outline. Don't worry, you can always go back with your concealer to conceal. Our outline is our guide. No matter what, you shouldn't lose it, because this is the only way you can avoid going to touch the top part of your brows. Okay, so I'm going to conceal the other part of my brows now. That's the left brow. So how is yours coming? Are you doing it well? What stage are you now? Are you getting it? I'm just going back with that mocha shade. Not mocha, chocolate mousse, the one that is like my exact skin tone. You know, we made a mistake, so I made a mistake. I'll just go. I'm happy I'm making this mistake so that in case you make the same mistake, you will know exactly how to correct it. Okay, so please maintain a very firm hand, like extremely firm. So when you place your brush, it's just like you are tracing. Trace it all the way down. I see people do this when they're concealing their brows. For you that is starting, I don't know. Anyways, everybody is finding what is working for them. Find what works for you though. Me, I always prefer to place my brush close to the outline and just trace it down. Okay, so that is what I think you should do. Just hold it and trace it down. You will find out that because of that well drawn outline, if you conceal following that outline, it's going to give like a very defined and very sharp brows. Okay, but if you do this, what if you make a mistake and clean the brows in the process of doing that? Then you now have to start again. You get my point? So just place your brush down like this and just trace it down. That's why I said I like to use an angle brush, because it helps, especially when you angle it to the right direction. Just like I'm doing the right brows and I angled it to the right and I'm just following. Then when you are done, you blend out the concealer, or blend it so well till it fades. Don't forget to touch the concealer on the back of your hand, the foundation or whatever you are using to conceal. Then use it to blend it out to get like the perfect fade out effect. Okay, please, if you have any question, don't forget to ask me. I think I'm done with these brows. I have to move over. And note, the reason why I even like this step is because this concealer or foundation, whatever I use to blend out your brow, automatically acts as a base when it is time to apply your eyeshadow. You can even take it as far as your eyelid, so that it will serve as an eyeshadow base when it is time to apply your eyeshadow. Okay, so that is that for the right brows. As I said, we have to attain perfection by not touching the top part of the brows, but I will still show you how to. You get, I always have like alternatives, so in case you make a mistake, or you really want it to be extremely perfect, you can as well conceal the top part of the brows. Okay, so this is the brows. We have done our outline, we have done our filling in, and we have concealed. This is it. This is the result. How perfect does it look to this side? Okay, so let me just go ahead and do this part quickly. So remember your exact shade and one foundation or concealer shade that is lighter for a bright under eyes. Okay, So let's go ahead and do our mixing. Because this is too bright, so I decided to mix it with the one that is my exact shade and conceal. Remember to follow the outline we already created. Remember I said we'll stop there, then we'll go back to our exact skin tone, the shade that is ours, and conceal the down part. Let us get a really bright under eyes. I know you're like me, you would want a really bright under eyes. And let me even tell you, the lighter the concealer shade you use to conceal the brows, the more highlighted your brows looks. That is it. That is the major trick. That's why you see most people use like a very bright looking concealer. They use like a very bright looking concealer, and you will see that their brows is so well defined. That is what they actually do. Is it right? If you blend it out properly, then it's okay. As far as you're using a light concealer under the brows, I really don't see any problem with it. But for the top part, no. That is when I have a problem with it, because I cannot use this shade for the top part of my brows. No, I like this under my brows because it will come in handy when I start blending my eyeshadow. So I want it to be as bright as possible. Okay, we all want to look classy and not trashy. So I'm going back with this exact shade and I'm concealing the remaining part of my brows. All for the sake of this tutorial. Okay. And that is what I like about drawing your brows before foundation. You can make all the mistakes you want to, because you know that you always adjust it. So yeah, blend out till it fades away. Let's also blend to the eyelid to serve as a base for the eyeshadow. Okay, that's that. So I'll just quickly show you how to conceal the top part of the brows. You can stop here, it's also good like this, but some people want to go like the extra mile to conceal the top part. So I'll just show you. So for the top part, I'm going to use like my exact foundation shade, because I don't want to leave any white hash line or whatever. Okay, so for that I'm going to use my Super Stay foundation in 360. That is my exact foundation shade, like my exact. I think I'm even getting lighter, so it is not my shade anymore, but that is what I will use. Okay, so this is it. Remember to take from the back and the front with your brush and go. Please be very careful. I told you that I always avoid this part because I feel this is the deciding part of the makeup. It will decide whether your brows will come out nice or it will come out well. So what I like to do is that I like to place my brush flat and just trace it, just the same way we do the bottom part. I like to trace following the outline as my guide. Okay, can you see the difference of both shades, the one I use under and the one I'm using now on top? Please leave your brush flat and blend out. Please go step by step so you don't clean what you have already done, please. And yes, I agree, there's a huge difference between not concealing the top and concealing the top. I know, before you tell me, I know, but I just feel if you can get it from the bottom, why do you need to go to the top? You get my point. Why do you need to stress? Not even Not even cleaning your brows from the top part saves you a lot of time. You just move on and do other stuff, do your eyeshadow, whatever, and get over with. And you know, you want to achieve like a 5 minutes glam, so there's no need to even go overboard most of the time. Please be careful, follow the outline. You can see the way I'm doing it. I'm putting my brush flat. I did not go like this. I'm going like this because it will help the blending process. And you can see I keep taking it upwards. I keep taking it upwards. Okay. Still flat. And there we go. Keep blending out, keep blending out, keep blending out, keep blending out. Then go with your blending brush and just finish up the blending. Okay, that is how to achieve it. That if you must go to the top part of your brows. Please be careful so you don't clean the brows in the process of blending. It will be so painful that when you are done with the perfect brows, you now go and mistakenly clean it. Okay, so let's check out the difference between this side that we have not concealed the top part and this side that we have. Okay, can you see? Nice. So what's your take? Would you go for that to conceal the top part of the brows, or you just stop at the bottom? And what is your strength set? Where do you make your mistake from? So I'm doing the same thing on this other side. Please keep your brush flat. You can as well trace from this other side. Since we are beginners, since you're a beginner and you're trying to learn, you can trace it so you get like the right point to start. Don't forget to flatten the brush for easy blending. It's okay to trace, so I'm serious, it's okay to trace, but you have to clean it because we don't want to see that eyeglass. Please, it's okay to trace, but know that we clean it. That is a good part of drawing your brows before you do your skin work, before your foundation. That is what I mean by skin work. Okay, don't forget to blend out. Done. You see, it's very easy to blend out because why we are flattening our brush. If you keep it like this, see, it will come out bad. Don't worry, I'll show you. Not that it will come out bad. If you are very good and patient with blending, you can do that and it will come out well. I'm not condemning anybody's step because I know you do that sometimes. I'm not condemning, but I'm just showing you like the most easiest way to get it, so you don't have to stress. Please let us clean whatever line we drew here to separate both brows. Okay, how does it look now? How is yours now? How does it look? Is it coming together? Are these tips helpful? What do you think? Okay, what do you think? What do you think? Then I'll just go ahead and use my spoolie brush to just blend it and brush it upwards. Remember I told you brush it upwards. And yeah, that is that for the brows. Then you can go ahead to set all this concealer or foundation, whatever you used. So I'm using my Zaron powder and just setting it in place before I go ahead to start applying my eyeshadow. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Do you have any questions? Please ask me. Ask me if you're confused about anything. Please ask me. So yeah, this is it. Brows done to perfection. So how is yours? How is it coming together? How is yours coming together? Because from here I'm going to move on to eyeshadow. So please keep on watching. Hi, so this is an extra tip on how to conceal your brows after your foundation, that's your skin work, is done. So you just like what I said, you follow the outline, use your lighter shade to conceal from the arc area of the brows down to the tail. Remember to place your brush down and trace it following the outline. That's the best way. Then you can go in with the person's exact shade, or a shade that is not as bright as the one you use on the arc area of the brows to conceal the remaining part. But what I'm using now, shade I'm using now, it's okay. I can use it for the beginning of her brows. In fact, I can use it to conceal all around her brows. If you notice, you see that I'm going very light-handed. I'm not taking so much product as to what I took when I was concealing brows without skin work, without foundation. This one I'm being very light-handed. So I use a darker shade for the top part of it, and I use a lighter shade for the tail part, and I'm going to touch in that lighter concealer, then blend out everything. If you notice, there's a difference between the shade I use for the top and the shade I use for the tail part, but I'm going to blend everything out using that concealer shade, highlight shade, because we want to leave it smooth and clean, just like I told you when we're doing our own personal eyebrow tutorial. You get, this is just how to clean it out and avoid so much concealer, especially after you have done your foundation. So that's what I'm doing now, and this is how it looks. You get.